Hello everybody and welcome. In this video, what we're going to go over is Xlookup and all its features as of 2026. Now, I know for some of you, you might think that Xlookup is just an upgraded version of VLOOKUP, and that is partially true because of course it does have that lookup feature. However, Xlookup has a whole lot of other features than just the lookup. So in this video, what we're going to cover is all of the individual features that it has to offer, including the lookup itself, the not found, the search, as well as the match feature. So with that being said, let's get right into today's lesson. Hello everybody and welcome to today's lesson. The first thing that we're going to look over is the actual lookup function. So this is pretty straightforward. I like the Xlookup lookup function better than VLOOKUP because with VLOOKUP everything needs to be to the right hand side of the unique identifier, whereas in Xlookup it does not have to be, and I'll show you what I mean here. So you could see under column F I have the employee ID, and in column G I want to bring in the full name, right? And this is my table where I have employee ID and full name. Let me use Xlookup to bring that in. So I'm going to do Xlookup. I'm going to lock on the employee ID on the column. Then I'm going to go employee ID and then the full name for the return array. And I'm going to close my bracket. And there you see. It brings in the full name. So that's pretty straightforward formula there. That's the Xlookup lookup function. Now let's move on to the not found function. So not found, basically what this does, it eliminates the need of if error if you're using Xlookup. And I'll show you what I mean. So again, I have my employee IDs. This time instead of the name, I want to bring in the job title. So I'm going to go Xlookup on the employee ID. Now I'm going to bring in the job title. But now instead of closing the bracket, I'm going to put another comma. And you could see here, if not found, I'm just going to say not found. And then I'll close the bracket. And you could see on row 3 and on row 6, I'll highlight that for you. You could see that the employee ID I have under column F, it's not in my table, so it would have returned an error, but because we used the not found feature, instead it returned whatever I put in the bracket. So in this case, not found. Now we're going to move on to the match function of Xlookup. So you could see here under column A, I have the mark, right? So 0 to 49 is F, or what I should say, I have letter grades for students, right? Like in school, right? So under column A, you could see I have 0 to 49 is an F, 50 to 59 is a D, 60 to 69 is a C, and so on and so forth, right? So I didn't individually list every single number, right? Because I just want to use a range. It's just way easier and more efficient that way. Now, under column D, I have the actual student marks, and I want to put the letter grade in column E. So let's see, with Xlookup, if we use the match function, 0, -1, and 1 will all give us different things. We're going to go over that and what is the best to use in this particular scenario. So Xlookup, the lookup value here is on the actual mark, right? Lookup array is going to be column A. And then the return array is going to be column B. Now, I'm going to skip over not found. If I wanted to, I could put if not found. But in this case, I don't want to do that. We already learned that in the prior lesson. So I'm going to go into match mode, right? And I want to start off, you could see there I have 0, -1, 1, and 2, right? Let's start off with 0. And let's see if this is the correct one to use for this particular scenario. So you could see right away that you're getting all of these error messages, right? And the reason for that is because it's looking for an exact match. So in this table, you could see it's only 60% and 70% that is listed in the table here. So 60 is a C and 70 is a B. But I need the ranges. So an exact match is not going to work in this scenario. So I'm going to go back out, and again, I'm going to do Xlookup. I'm going to pick my lookup array and then my return array. If not found, I'm going to skip over that. Now you could see for -1, exact match or next smaller item, right? So it's going to search for the next smaller item here. So let's try that. And I could tell you that this is the correct one to use for this scenario. So now you could see 94 is an A+, 60 is a C, 85 is an A, so on and so forth. So if it doesn't find an exact match, it goes to the lower match that you have in the table, right? So 85, for example, there's no 85 here under my mark category. So it looks for the next lowest one, which is 80, which is going to give me A, which is the correct letter grade, right? Now let's imagine for a second, even though we know that -1 is the correct one to use, let's imagine we used 1. So in this particular case, you could see 1 is searches for an exact match. If not found, searches for a next larger item. So in this particular case, if I close the bracket, in some situations it will give you the correct one, but that's just by chance. But you could see here 94, yes, that's an A+, and 60 is a C, but then 85 is not an A+, right? 64 is not a B, 74 is not an A, and the difference between -1 and 1 is that 1 goes up to the next one, right? So in the particular case, let's say 64%, well, there's no 64 here under column A, so it looks at the next highest one, which is 70, which will return B. So for this specific example, that would be the wrong one to use. Now, there is one more thing that I'd like to go over with you in terms of match, and that's wildcard. So that's going to be match 2. So over here you could see I have statistics from the English Premier League, right? So that's the premier soccer league or football league in the world. And you could see I have, player name, the team they play on, as well as their goals plus assists, so their goal contributions for the year, right? So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put in the player's first or last name, and then I want it to return the goal contributions from that particular player, right? So the way to do that using the match mode, I'm going to go Xlookup, lookup value on I, but I want to use wildcard, so I'm going to go and bracket star bracket and then the return arrays, right? So that's going to be B, column B, and the return array is going to be column G. Sorry, I think I said for the first one the lookup array is column B and the return array is column G. If not found, I could put this one back on. Again, I'll say not found. And then match mode, I want to do 2 for wildcard search. And now you could see, right? So if I go in here and I put in Ollie, right? So for Ollie Watkins here on row 2, you could see he had 31 goal contributions. These stats are from a few years ago. It's not like the current time stat, right? Now, I could play around. I could put Erling there. So it's going to give me Erling Haaland, 25 goal contributions, or put in Saka, right? So it doesn't matter if it's the first or last name, it will return a result as long as the characters that you type into that cell I2 is under column B, right? So one thing to call out here is that if you have more than one value and you type it into that cell I2, it's going to return the value which is higher, right? So I'll give you an example here. So Anthony, right? It gives me 18. Now, if you look here on row 13, I have Anthony Gordon, but then if I go down here to row 25, I also have Anthony Elanga, right? So Anthony Elanga, you see he has 13 goal contributions while Gordon has 18. Because Anthony Gordon is higher, this formula will return whatever's higher. So it will give you Anthony Gordon, right? But if I did want to know Elanga, I just type in Elanga, and then it's going to give me his 13 goal contributions. So that's match mode in a nutshell. Today's sponsor of the video is me. Just in case you don't already know, I have a Microsoft Excel course in which you could go from zero to hero in Microsoft Excel. I have over 100 different lecture videos individually bookmarked so that you can learn at your own pace. So for example, if you'd like to know about VLOOKUPs, I have a couple of videos on VLOOKUP. If it's pivot tables that you're after, I have an entire chapter on pivot tables. So if you'd like to accelerate your knowledge and go from beginner to pro in Microsoft Excel, my course is the course for you, and the link is in the comment section below. Now let's get back into the video. Now let's go into search mode. So search mode, what we're going to do is we're going to search under column A. So you can see column A, we have a number of different dates, right? And we have duplicates of these dates, right? So we have March 1st showing up 3 times, February 16th showing up 3 times, and then January 30th showing up 3 times, right? So basically, if you use search 1, it's going to give you the highest for that range. And if you go -1, it'll give you the lowest for that range. So let me show you how to do that quickly. Right, so if I go Xlookup, lookup value is going to be here. I'm going to lock it. The lookup array, those are going to be your dates. And then the return array, that's going to be your amount. I'm going to skip over not found, skip over match mode. Now I'm in search mode, and I want to go search first to last. So I'm going to hit 1. So now you could see for this date, for February 16th, right, I have the 3 values here. Let me highlight that for you. So if I'm using 1, it's going to return the highest, which in this case under column D is going to be 25. Now, if I wanted to do the reverse of that and I wanted to show you the lowest, then I would go in here and I would just change 1 to -1. And now you could see it's giving me 23, right? So I could play around with the dates here. I could use, right? And it's, you know, now I switched it to March 1st, but it's the same story, right? So it's giving me 26 with -1, but if I flip it to 1, it should give me 31, and it does. So that is search mode using 1 and -1. So the last thing to look at in terms of Xlookup, the search function, is search 2 and -2. So basically you use the search function in Xlookup if you have something that's perfectly either in ascending or descending order, right? So you could see under my column A, I have a perfectly listed order in which it goes in sequential order, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in perfect order all the way down to 10. So if you do have this and you want to know, oh, what is order number 7, for example, we could get it to return that. And let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go Xlookup, lookup value, right? Then I'm going to go lookup array. I'm going to go for the return array. If not found, I'm going to skip over that. Match mode, I'm going to skip over that. Now I'm going to go binary search, sort, ascending order, so 2. And now you could see, right? So number 1 is giving me 31, which is what I have on row 2. But again, I could go here 7, and now 7 is going to give me 21. 10 is going to give me 19, so on and so forth, right? And then search -2, it's the exact same thing, just in descending order. So again, I'll build up that formula for you. Lookup array. And you could see under column A, now it's perfectly going in descending order, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? I'm going to skip over if not found, skip over match mode. Now I'm here, binary search -2, and now you could see 10 gives me 31, 1 gives me 19, 7 gives me 25, So, as you can see through this lesson, Xlookup is a very powerful tool that does much more than just the actual lookup function. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Now, with that being said, let's go to the outro of this video. Alright guys, well that brings us to the end of the video. I would really like to hear your feedback. What is it that you think I did good in this video? What is it that you think I could have done better? Put it in the comments section for me below. I would really appreciate your feedback. Also, if you liked the video, if you could please like and subscribe, it would really help me out. And as I always say, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. And as always, keep fit and have fun.